Hi everybody, thanks for joining us for Partner Yoga. My name's Joanne.
And I'm Gabi.
And we're going to spend the next hour telling you a little bit about Partner Yoga and a yoga practice, as well as taking you through a practice. Yoga is a philosophy for a better life, and it incorporates poses, which are called asana, with various other components to help to reduce blood pressure, to increase flexibility, increase strength, help you to de-stress. All in all, yoga philosophy can be applied to any other philosophy that you might practice, and there are a lot of benefits to it. We're going to focus on partner yoga today because this is a way to connect with somebody else. It could be a romantic partner, it could be a friend, it could be a sibling, even one of your children, to do this partner yoga practice with us. A couple things before we get started. If you have a yoga mat or 2 yoga mats, it would be really helpful. If you don't, a couple of towels would work, and we can just set them side by side. So put them out lengthwise and then the other one right beside it, and we will use both during our practice today. If you don't have mats or towels, the floor works as well. You might just want to put a blanket or something under your knees for a few of the poses that we do today. Couple more things for safety. We're going to give you some different options today. As we go through our practice, you'll see Gabi providing options for more intensity and maybe more difficulty in poses, and you'll see me showing the options that tend to be less intense and more appropriate if you're new to a yoga practice. Also, as we tell you to choose the option that works best for you, we're asking you to listen to your body and to pick something that feels really good right now. Don't pick anything that hurts. And if we're cueing a pose that doesn't feel good right now, feel free to take a break if any of the options that we're offering aren't working for you. It's most important to stay safe than to try all of the poses. So we're going to start actually seated on our mats back to back. So if you'd like to join us seated with your partner, sitting back to back.
Yeah, we're actually going to start in a little warm up here. So feel free to sit up straight in your seated pose and engaging that core by pulling the belly button in, maybe taking a few deep breaths here. Your back can lay against your partner's. And let's go ahead and have our arms splay out by our side. And on our next exhale, let's go ahead and bring our arms to our chest. One partner will go ahead and do so, while the other partner goes and opens their chest for cow pose. Inhale, we'll switch. The other partner has their arms splay out into cow pose. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. And we're just going to go ahead and transition between these 2 poses, moving at your own pace and at your own breath. So we'll do about 3 more breaths here. Starting to warm up our arms, engaging that breath. Nice job. When we're ready, let's go ahead and have our arms both go to down on our sides. We'll have one partner raise their left arm while the other partner raises their right. Inhale, lengthening our spine. Exhale, we'll bend down towards our hand that's on the mat. Inhale, let's come back up to center. Exhale, release that hand. Inhale, other side, arm raises up. Again, long spine here. Exhale, rounding down towards that front hand. Inhale, let's come up. Exhale, release. We'll go ahead and do a couple more on each side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend down. Nice job. Exhale, let's go ahead and release. Again, inhale, arm comes up. Exhale, bending down. Nice job. We'll go ahead and do one more on each side, just so we're still warming up here. Nice job. One more. Inhale, coming back. And let's go ahead and release that arm. Our next pose will be a flowing twist pose. And to do this, let's go ahead and both look to our left. So looking towards our left shoulder, Right arm goes over our left leg, going into a twisted pose. Option to stay here. If you'd like, you can grab onto your other partner and getting more of that twist here. Inhale as we come back to center. We're gonna go ahead and do the other side, looking towards our right shoulder. Left arm grabs right leg. Again, always have that option to get more of a twist by grabbing onto your partner. Nice job. Let's come back to center. Again, looking towards our left side, twisting, right hand grabs our left leg. Nice job. Inhale as we come back to center. Other side, looking towards our right shoulder this time, twisting, left arm meets right leg. Nice job. And from here, let's go ahead and move towards our separate mats. We're gonna do a little bit more of a warm up onto our separate mats. I'm gonna go ahead and be on the same, facing the same way as my partner. Hands stacked over our wrists, knees are stacked over our hips, moving into a cat-cow sequence from here. So on our next inhale, let's go ahead and puff out our chest, arching our spine to cow pose. Inhale, let's go ahead and round our spine the opposite way, cat. Inhale, cow, looking forward. Exhale, cat pose. Maybe you decide to move with your partner as you go between these two poses. Or maybe just letting your breath take you from cat and cow. Do a few more breaths here. Making sure that you have all four corners of your fingers on the mat. Nice job. And once we're about even on our cats and our cows, we're gonna come back to tabletop, neutral pose, making sure our joints are still stacked over one another. On our next inhale, right arm comes out in front of us, engaging that core, keeping our spine straight to spinal balance pose. Exhale, let's go ahead, release. Inhale, other side, left arm reaches far out, maybe having our thumb face the ceiling. Exhale, coming down. Again, right arm raises out in front of us, this time option to add that opposite leg, either coming out of our mat, on our mat, or we can go ahead and lift up. Still engaging that core. Exhale, let's go ahead and release. Inhale, other side. Again, always have that option to raise that leg. Exhale, coming back down. We'll do one more on each side. Coming back down. Switching sides, inhale as we raise. Nice job. Let's go ahead and send our hips back, having our arms come forward for child's pose. We can have our forehead meet our mat, maybe adjusting our stance, knees can come out as wide as you'd like. On our next inhale, we're gonna shoot our hips forward, coming into a plank from our knees, so maybe adjusting those arms, having them come out a little bit further, making sure that we are tightening our core here. And from plank, we're gonna flip our toes, send our hips back to down dog, maybe pedaling out our heels, bending our knees as much as we'd like. On our next inhale, plank pose, and option to drop to our knees. So ahead, sending our hips back, down dog. We're gonna move into some sort of a flow here. Coming back to plank, always have that option to drop to our knees. Exhale, hips come back, down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Nice job. We'll go ahead and do one more sequence here, moving back to our plank, engaging that core. Sending our hips back to down dog once more. On our next inhale, let's go ahead and raise our foot that's closest to our partner, raising it up. We're gonna go ahead and bend our knee, stepping it forward, dropping that back heel so that we're in a low lunge, making sure that our knee isn't going over our toes, coming up onto that front leg, having our hands come to heart center, and then twisting towards our partner. Nice job. Big inhale as we come back. Hands come back on our mats. Go ahead and step that foot back, going to child's pose. Catching our breath here. On our next inhale, let's go ahead, flip our toes, send our hips back to down dog. We're gonna do the other side. So inhale, other foot comes up. This should be your outside foot. Bending that knee, hovering over, stepping through to low lunge. Back heel comes down. Inhale, coming up onto that front knee. Then go ahead and come to heart center, twisting. Couple of breaths here. On our next inhale, let's come back to center. Hands come to our mat. Stepping back, going to child's pose once more. On our next inhale, having our hips come forward. Gonna go ahead and lower down to our mat. On our next inhale, we're gonna do a few sets of cobra. So to do this, we're gonna go ahead and inhale, chest rolls up. Exhale, lowering down to our mat. Inhale, chest comes up, maybe hovering our hands here, using our core strength to hold us up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, chest rolls up. Exhale, lower down. Our next one we're gonna hold for a few breaths. Inhale, rolling our chest up. Option to hover our hands. Try not to hold our breath in any way. We'll be here for about 2 more breaths. You've got this. On our next exhale, let's go ahead and lower down to our mat. On our next inhale, pushing up to plank, engaging that core. Flipping our toes, sending our hips back. Walking our feet to the front of our mat into a forward fold. Inhale, we're gonna go ahead and come to mountain. So on our next inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale to heart center.
For our next sequence, you're going to want to be on the same mat. And so step to the same mat as your partner. You'd like to be about arm's length apart. So we're going to be sitting back into a chair and we're going to press into each other's hands to help support us here. Let's make sure our feet are about hip width apart and we are going to stand tall and then we'll pretend there's a chair behind us and we're going to sit back for this imaginary chair. As we inhale, we're going to stand back up. You might need to adjust where you're standing relative to your partner, and again, let's exhale. Sit back into our chair and inhale, press back up. Good, a few more times. Exhale, sit back to chair. Make sure we can lift or wiggle our toes when we're here. And inhale, stand back up. Let's do about 4 more. And it's okay if you and your partner are in different spots in your chair. One sits more deeply than the other. We're really just trying to move at about the same time. And good, so next up we're going to do a partner chair. So you're going to want to reach for your partner's forearms and we're going to be pulling backwards a little bit. So before you start, lean back just a little bit so that you feel comfortable that you've got support from your partner. We're going to sit back into a chair. So we'll sit back into a chair here. Make sure we can lift or wiggle our toes. Don't be afraid to sit back a little bit with your partner, and then make sure that your partner feels stable, that you're not sitting back too much, or that you're sitting back enough. All right, so then if we'd like, we can add a twist here. So we're gonna let go of a hand, doesn't matter which one, we're gonna open up into twist. So Gabi's showing a big twist. You can also bend your elbow, and this will decrease the intensity in your twist, might feel a little better for your shoulder. One more big breath here. All right, let's untwist. Let's stand up. My legs are tired. I don't know about yours. And then we're gonna change this up. A little bit of hamstring stretch. You're gonna reach for your partner's shoulders. We do what's called a warrior 3. So we're gonna both step our right foot back. So we got opposite feet stepping back. And then we can lean forward, what we call warrior 3. Watch your partner's head, make sure that you're not too close together. And your foot can come up off the floor a lot or not at all. Our base leg should have a little bit of a bend in it here so that we are not locked out in the knee. This helps to keep our joint safer. Good, and let's stand up tall. Shake our arms and our legs a little bit. And then we're gonna do the same sequence on the other side. So again, reach for your partner's forearms. Lean back a little bit to test to make sure that you're gonna hold each other up. And then we'll sit back into our chair. Good, we keep our chest open here, shoulders down and back. And now let's open up to the other side. So we'll twist in the other direction. We're gonna twist away from you really briefly. Same idea here. You can straighten your arm for more intensity in your twist, or keep your arm bent for less intensity. Still a lot of leg work. All right, let's untwist and let's stand up. We're gonna do that warrior 3 on the other side this time. So you might adjust how far apart you and your partner were based on the first time through. This time it's left foot back. Step back a little bit. And good, so we lean forward. It should be on the other leg here. And we can point our toes down at the floor, point our hips at the floor for more hamstring stretch on your base leg. Very nice, so let's stand back up. And we can shake out a little bit. We are going to do a warrior pose next. So we're gonna both step our foot farthest away from each other towards the center of the mat. Good, and we'll step the other foot back into a lunge. You have to be careful that when you step back off of your mat, that your foot's not going to slide. We'll place our back foot down at a little bit of an angle, so our heel should be further away from our front foot, back heel, than our toes are. And this should keep our knee in a safer spot. Now we add stretch to this pose by leaning forward, but keeping weight in our back foot. You might feel a bit of stretch in back hip flexor, maybe some in front hamstring. And then we lift through the roof of our mouth so we're tall. You can bring hands either into heart center, or you could reach out, press your hands into your partner's hands. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Now we'll change this pose up a little bit. We're going to lift our back heel. So lift your back heel and pivot your foot so that heel points up toward the ceiling. And then we're going to bring our hands to our heart center, so in towards our chest. We're gonna lean forward, watch out for your partner, and we're gonna twist towards our front knee. So here you and your partner are gonna support each other. Just a little bit of pressure, elbow to elbow or shoulder to shoulder. And this is a really small twist. It doesn't have to be a big twist before you feel some stretch in this pose. And let's untwist. Good, press your hands into your partner's hands so that we can stand up. Step your feet in one at a time. Release, and shake it out a little bit. We're gonna switch sides, so we need to switch sides so that we can do the same pose, but on the other leg. So this time we're gonna step the outside foot out again, forward again. Is that right? It's the other side, isn't it? We're gonna change it. We're gonna redo that. I wish there was a redo button on this one. And so we are going to switch legs. So we really didn't need to switch sides of the mat. All right, so we'll step our foot back. We'll take our foot out to an angle, back foot out to a little bit of an angle. Front knee bends and front knee points over our second toe. Find a little bit of stretch, maybe back hip flexor, maybe front hamstring. And let's stand, let's be really tall through our torso. Press hands into your partner's hands. And make sure we've got some weight across the whole back foot. So if we feel the back edge of our foot lifting, just lean back, shift your weight back a bit. And that should take some pressure off your knee. All right, let's take one more breath here. And let's lift our back heel. We're in our crescent lunge. Now we can bring our hands into heart center. Lean forward a little bit, be careful for your partner, and then twist towards your front knee. A little bit of pressure, elbow to elbow, or elbow to arm. And let's untwist, so let's untwist. Press into your partner's hand so we can stand up.
Perfect. And for our next pose, we're gonna go ahead and move to our separate mats, but we'll go ahead and face towards the same wall or same way. And to do the next pose, we're gonna move into a warrior two pose. So to do this, we're gonna step our outside foot back, and we'll have a big bend in the front knee. And then we're gonna have our heel come down to about 45 degrees like we just were into warrior two. So maybe we can have our backs, you can have your back against your partner's. We're gonna go ahead and have our hands come out to our sides. On our next inhale, we can flip our palms up. Front palm raises up towards the sky. Back hand can rest on that back heel. Back hand is on our back leg, and microbend in that back leg as well. We'll be here for about 5 breaths. So maybe using your partner if you lose your balance. If that front leg gets too tired, feel free to slightly straighten. About 3 more breaths here. On our next exhale, let's go ahead and come back to warrior two. So hands are out to our side and our gaze is raised forward. And from here, all we're gonna do is we're gonna straighten that front leg, and we're gonna reach our front hand all the way down to our shin, or maybe we have it above our knee. Back hand can also be on our back leg. Microbend in that front leg. This one is called triangle pose. And again, we'll be here for a few breaths. Maybe feeling a slight stretch in the back of our front leg. 3 more breaths. Nice job. When we're ready, let's go ahead, come back to warrior two by bending that front leg. Hands can come out to our side. And slowly, let's have that back heel come up, back toes face forward. Hands can be on our to heart center. And let's go ahead and step up onto the front of our mats. From here, we're gonna go ahead and switch. So this time, we are going to the backs of our mats.
This time we're doing it right.
Yes, a little confusing, but we'll get this. So on our next exhale, stepping back again with that outside foot. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. So having that back heel come down, hands can come out to our sides. Flipping our palms up, front hand comes all the way to the sky. Back hand can rest on that back leg. Gaze can be up towards your palm. And again, we'll be here for a few breaths. 3 more breaths from here. Again, if that front leg does get tired, you always have that option to straighten out. On our next exhale, let's go ahead and come back to warrior 2. Hands can be out to our sides. From here, going into triangle pose, we're gonna go ahead and straighten that front leg, reaching down with that front arm, either above or below the knee. Either one is perfectly fine. Having that back hand maybe resting on the back leg, maybe on your hip. Gaze can be towards the ground. And a few breaths here. Three more breaths. Nice job. Let's go ahead and bend that front knee, going back into our warrior 2. To get out of this pose, we're gonna have back toes face forward, back heel comes up, hands at heart center, stepping all the way to our mountain pose. From here, we're gonna go ahead, come back to the other side, making sure we get both sides. From here, we're gonna go into a balance pose. So this requires a little bit of trust from your partner, and also kind of a bonding experience. So from here, let's go ahead and we're gonna step back with that outside leg once more, going into crescent lunge this time. So back heel is raised, both toes are pointed forward. Grabbing onto your partner's opposite shoulder, and all of our weight slowly comes to that front leg, eventually back heel raises, moving into a warrior 3 pose. And maybe adjusting your stance here so you're comfortable. Option to have that outside hand come out like an airplane. We'll be here for 2 more breaths or so. On our next inhale, bending that knee, pulling it all the way forward. Try not to touch the mat. Option to stay here, or you can extend that leg forward. Still keeping our balance here, we're gonna go ahead, open up that knee out to the side, placing that foot above or below the knee, and can create a tree pose with your partner. So, on our next exhale, let's go ahead and release. We'll go ahead and show you what that looks like from the center. So same thing. Basically, you can go ahead and inhale, going back into that tree, having that foot come above or below the knee, and bouncing off your partner. Nice job. Let's go ahead and release. And we're gonna do the same thing, so coming towards the back of your mat. Same thing with this side. We're gonna go ahead, step back with that outside foot. And grabbing onto your partner's opposite shoulder, all your weight comes forward, eventually going into that warrior 3. Rooting in all 4 corners of that foot that's on the mat. Option to have that arm out to the side. Be here for a couple more breaths. On our next inhale, pulling that knee forward, again, having that option to extend that leg out. Bending it once more, opening up to the side, going into our tree pose. Hands can be at heart center. We're gonna go ahead and let go and show you what this looks like at the front of our camera so that everyone can see this beautiful pose. So going into tree, using your balance, using your partner. Couple more breaths. And exhale, let's go ahead and release. Maybe shaking that out. I'm gonna move on to one mat this time. And from here, I'm gonna go ahead and grab onto our partner's shoulders. And we're gonna lean down so that we're getting a stretch in those lats, in those shoulders, maybe bending our knees. And we're here for about 3 more breaths. On our next inhale, let's go ahead and come back up. From here, moving into sort of a standing camel pose, right? And grabbing onto your partner's forearms, like kind of like we did before, maybe leaning back slightly. And then once you get that sweet spot, we're gonna go ahead and lean back all the way, puffing out our chest, maybe looking up towards the ceiling. And 3 more breaths. On our next inhale, slowly raising back up and moving towards our next pose.
So for the next set of poses, we are going to sit on one mat. To start with, we'll be facing each other. And when we start, if your knees are bent, our toes will be touching or pretty close to touching. So we'll start first by lifting our chest up a bit and rolling the shoulders back just enough for a little bit of a stretch. So this is the start of a seated tabletop. Now we're going to release that a little bit so we can pick up one foot, press it into your partner's, and then pick up the other foot, do the same thing, so we can, again, lift our chest if we want a bit more stretch in this one. Another option is to extend maybe one leg or extend both legs in partner boat. Now you'll have more hamstring stretch if you're closer together. And so you'd have to check with your partner before you start moving in, but that is something that you could do, is you could release one foot and you could both move in a little bit if you need more stretch for the backs of your legs. How are you doing, Gabi? This is enough hamstring stretch for me as well. And if it feels like too much stretch for either of you, you can bend your knees a little bit and your partner can still keep their legs extended. Now to release this, let's both bend our knees and then one foot at a time, move back to the mat. Now we're going to turn so that we're back to back. And we'd like to be pretty close for this, and we're gonna do a set of poses that are similar to the ones we warmed up with. We are both going to take our feet, soles of our feet together though, and let our knees open out wide for what we call butterfly pose. A little bit of inner thigh stretch here. And we'd like to feel our sit bones, so you might need to shift around a little bit on your mat so we can sit up tall. And the way this will work is that I'm going to lean forward and Gabi is going to lean backwards, so she gets a back bend and I get a forward bend. So I'll start to lean forwards. I get a little more stretch for inner thigh. And Gabi gets a back bend. And you can see Gabi can reach overhead for more stretch if she wants. Good. A few breaths here, probably about 6 or 7. And it's important to check in with your partner to make sure, especially the person that's forward bending, has a comfortable stretch, not too much stretch. And that the person that's back bending feels like they're in a comfortable spot for their back. In these cool down stretches, it's really nice to close your eyes. Think about taking a longer inhale and a longer exhale. One more breath here and then we'll switch. So then we'll start to come back up, and now we'll switch. Gabi gets the forward bend and I will backward bend. So another option, if reaching arms overhead doesn't feel as comfortable, is you can take hands out to your side, or maybe even rest hands on ribs so that you get a little bit of chest opening, but it doesn't feel too intense on your shoulders. You can also just bring hands behind so you've got a little support too. couple more big breaths. Use your exhales to relax into this pose. All right, when we're ready, we'll come back up. And for this next set, you can either use the butterfly pose we've just been using, might be more hip stretch, or you can use easy seated pose with legs crossed. We're gonna do our seated spinal twist again. So we'd like to sit pretty close to our partner. We'll sit up tall, and we're going to twist to our right. So we'll twist to our right this time. And like we did in our warm up, you can reach for your partner's knee if you'd like. If that's too much twist, placing hand on the floor helps to keep you more stable. And in any of our twists, if we were to lift our hand, we shouldn't untwist. So we want to be sure we're not pulling ourselves into twists, because that can be pretty hard on our backs. A couple more breaths here, maybe close your eyes. Next inhale, let's return to center and we'll twist to the other side. When we twist, it's important to remember that each side is like a new pose. So we don't necessarily have to be in the same spot on both sides. Really listen to your body and find what feels comfortable right now. And on our next inhale, we can return to center. For our last pose here before we get to recline back on our mat, Gabi's going to come into child's pose facing me. I'll be standing at the end of the mat. And so one partner will be in child's pose at the back of the mat. The other partner is going to stand, and we're going to do sort of a variation on downward dog. And so this is intended to give Gabi a little bit more stretch in her child's pose. I'm gonna move Gabi's hair so I'm not standing on it. Now, if we're not comfortable in child's pose as it is, then we probably don't want to add any pressure, so make sure you talk to your partner. And so if right now child's pose is enough stretch right here, then your partner can practice a forward fold. Just take a few breaths here, and so they get a nice stretch, and I'm not adding too much stretch for Gabi. Now, Gabi and I practiced this before, and she likes to have a little bit more stretch here, so I'm putting my hands just under her lower back near her hips, and I'm going to check and make sure that this feels okay. Does that feel okay, Gabi? Yep. And it's just a little bit of pressure, and it gives her a little bit more stretch in child's pose. And then for me, I get a hamstring stretch, a little bit of stretch on the sides of my back. And I'm going to release, so I'll walk back up and then come on back up to standing. And so you and your partner can switch, and we'll do the same thing. So same idea, asking your partner if they want to have some extra stretch added or not. In this case, I like the extra stretch, so Gabi, bring your hands to my lower back. It does, thank you. And in this portion of class, using your exhales to relax is really nice. And Gabi's actually kind of giving me a back massage here, because she's moving her hands really lightly up my back. It gives me a little bit different stretch. And we can come on up here. So slowly release, let your partner walk their hands up. Come on back up to standing. And then I'll go to my mat.
And to finish class today, we are going to go ahead and recline all the way to our mats. So going full reclined, allowing both of our legs to rest onto our mats. We can go ahead and bring the knee that's closest to our partner up. We're going to go ahead and bend, grab for our hamstring, pulling that knee to our chest. Getting a good stretch here, maybe rocking our leg from side to side, starting to slow our heart rate here. Nice job. Let's go ahead and switch sides. I'm going to go ahead and allow that leg to come all the way to our mat, having our other leg come in, knees bent, grabbing onto our hamstring, pulling our knee to our chest, wherever is comfortable for you, and maybe adjusting that knee, moving it from side to side. And a couple more breaths here. Feel free to close your eyes as you're breathing. Let's just go ahead and drop that foot to the ground. So our knee is gonna be raised, and we're gonna go ahead and cross our other leg over, flexing that ankle, moving into a reclined pigeon pose. So feel free to stay here if this is a great pose, a great stretch for you. If you want a more advanced option, making sure your foot is still flexed, we can grab onto our hamstring of the knee, of the foot that was on the mat, pulling our knee to our chest, getting a great glute stretch here. Nice job. To be even on both sides, of course, we're gonna go ahead and release. And switching sides, this time opposite leg crosses over, flexing that foot to protect our knee. Staying here or grabbing onto hamstring of the opposite leg, pulling our knee to our chest. Beautiful. Okay, so now that we've done both sides, we're gonna move into final Shavasana, my favorite pose. And to finish practice today, I'm gonna go ahead and lead us through a love and kindness meditation. And so feel free to get comfortable here. You can lay on your mat. Joanne has her knees up, just wherever you're most comfortable. And this love and kindness meditation starts by our breath. So starting by taking a couple deep breaths, breathing in and breathing out. We'll do one more together as a couple, breathing in and breathing out. While you have your eyes closed, let's start to think of a person close to you who loves you very much. It could be someone from the past or the present. Someone still in life or who has passed. It could be a spiritual teacher or guide. Start to feel that person at your side, sending you their love. That person is sending you wishes for your safety, for your well-being, and your happiness. Start to feel the warm wishes and love coming from that person towards you. Now let's start to imagine that you are surrounded on all sides by all the people who love and who have loved you. Picture all of your friends and your loved ones surrounding you. They're standing and sending you wishes for your happiness, well-being, and your health. Start to bask in these warm wishes and love coming from all sides. You are filled and overflowing with warmth and love. Now, bring your awareness to the person beside you. Begin to send that love that you feel back to that person. Send all your love and warm wishes to them so that they may feel safe, happy, and well. Now start to picture another person that you love, perhaps a relative or a friend. Send warm wishes to that person. Imagine that that person is safe, happy, and well. Now start to think of an acquaintance, someone that you may not know very well, and toward whom you do not have any particular feeling. Send all your wishes for their well-being to that person, imagining that that person is also safe, happy, and well. Start to expand your awareness and send warm wishes to all living beings so that they may feel safe, happy, and well. Let's start to take a deep breath in and out. One more deep breath in and out. Notice your state of mind and how you feel after this meditation. When you're ready, start to slowly move, maybe wiggling your toes and our fingers. And to finish, we're going to go ahead and come up into a seated position on our mats. And we always finish with a yoga word. It's called Namaste. And feel free to bow to your partner or bow to the front. Doesn't matter. We usually start with our hands at heart center. Namaste translates to the light in me, honors and sees the light in you. So thank you for watching this video, moving with us, and namaste.
Namaste.
And we do have a question. They want to know if your partner is completely different size or level of experience. Do you have any suggestions for that?
Communication. And so just checking in with your partner to see what works and what feels good. And you might just have to take some time to get into and out of poses. We have seen and done partner yoga, adults and kids together, or people that are completely different heights or different size and new and experienced to yoga. And so it can work as long as you communicate. thanks everybody for spending time with us. And if there's no more questions, then we will say good night. Thank you.
Thank you.